Hey, this is Vlogmas Day 18 and today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the spiritual experiences I've had this year that have been interesting or moving to me, or that I feel are of consequence that I would like to kind of share. I don't have any notes, this is just a completely spontaneous video. And I feel like it's probably going to go to some good places because I'm already thinking about some of the most significant things that have happened this year spiritually. I'm probably not going to remember everything, and I'm probably going to shut the camera off and go, oh for fuck's sake, there was that and there was this. But there are definitely some things that have occurred this year that I would love to record for myself just as much as I would love to share with you guys. So let's get into it. First thing that I definitely want to mention is that I finally had a look at my natal chart this year. I had a look a couple of months ago, I reckon about 4 or 5 months ago now, at my natal chart. Now I haven't had my chart actually delved into and done by an astrologer. There are a couple that I can definitely think that I would like to look over my chart, and I would like to pay them to do that in full at some point. I'm not ready quite yet, but I've had a look at my chart and done a little bit of studying about what each of the houses mean, and you know what my rising sign means and my moon sign and stuff like that. And I was absolutely fucking floored by this. This was absolutely, you know, I was stunned and taken aback. I'd had a very strong emotional response to looking at my chart, so that, I would say, was really exciting. I'm definitely going to delve into some astrology books. My friend Angel, whose YouTube channel you can check out below, I mentioned her in my Witchfest video. She's really into astrology, and you know, I really respect her take on astrology, her take on astrology and her passion for astrology. So, you know, she's given me a book list, a reading list that I can check out, and just given some really good recommendations. So I'm super happy with that, and I'll definitely be putting some of those things on my reading list for next year. So astrology has finally knocked on the door and finally come in and taken a seat. It's never going to be my main discipline, I don't think. There's still so much more that I want to give myself to with tarot. I still feel like such a fucking novice in so many ways, which is appropriate, you know, that's right. That's the way that it's okay to feel. It's okay to feel like a toddler in the face of a system that is so profound and has so many different layers, so many different things to unwrap and explore. But yeah, astrology is definitely going to be a little bit more of a player in my particular game, spiritually speaking. So that was a really cool experience. I want to mention some of the journeying that I have done to kind of commune with my matron deity. I started exploring different kinds of music this year to do that. I really like to imagine myself going down to Niflheim and actually meeting up with Hel and going on a tour around her kingdom and just seeing what happens and seeing what I can learn from the symbolism of what actually takes place there. And there are certain things that tend to happen over and over again when I do this, and there are other things that are completely unexpected that really blindside me, that I'm like, oh wow, where did that come from, what does that mean? So it's really interesting to do. I normally like to do it on the dark moon or the new moon, and I really get something out of it each and every time. But what I started to do in the summer of this year was to start to experiment with like satanic style meditation music and like sub-bass frequencies and kind of like goth kind of grindcore, and just messing around with Burzum, and you know, like listening to Scandinavian like black metal, and just really like playing with different stuff. And it really produced a very potent bunch of experiences for me. The visuals were like absolutely phenom, and that was really awesome, and it got me sort of more closely in touch with her and her kingdom and what she represents to me, and what I can learn from her about myself and about humanity. So that was really cool, just recognising, and I've always been very strongly connected to the fact that music is a shamanic prescription, and it will change up your frequency, and it will, you know, it will have a positive effect on you if you're feeling depressed or whatever. Like, music is absolutely part of what you should be doing to treat yourself and heal yourself and understand yourself, without doubt. But it's really cool to see the evidence of that when working on creative visualization. So that was really an interesting thing. And I have like a private playlist on YouTube now where I keep a lot of these sounds that I've found that have made it such an interesting journey, and that I've seen such cool things happen when I've been listening to that music. So that was really awesome. I just had my birthday on December 14th, which was the supermoon in Gemini, and I didn't really do a massive amount of research into what it meant that it was in Gemini, but I saw it as I was walking down the street in the dark on my birthday, and it absolutely floored me. I felt the energy before I saw it, but turning the corner and seeing it hanging like that in the sky. I've had other similar experiences with supermoons in the past where I've literally just been like drunk on the lunar energy and just sat outside with my boyfriend just watching the moon all night and chatting shit until sunup. But it was really moving to not really be thinking about the supermoon and not really be in that headspace, and then turn the corner and like see it, like, oh my god, oh my goddess, oh my god. It was just like, it was beautiful. It was really, really cool. I felt really privileged to be given that incredible celestial gift on my birthday, so that was epic. One of the things that happens to me time after time with a regularity that I can only say I'm privileged to have in my life is that I experience my ability to do my job. I experience breakthroughs with clients. I see their eureka moments. I see light bulbs go off in their heads. I read feedback that explains that they've really started to put things together and they've started to move in a positive direction, and they're taking the advice of the cards or the stuff that we worked on in the session and they're really going with it. That becomes more and more spiritual for me as time goes on, and it's just something that I increasingly enjoy, and it's something that really elevates me and makes me realise that I'm on the right path and I'm living my purpose. And that's always going to be something that's very spiritually moving and nourishing. I had some really interesting experiences with Divine Masculine this year, which was really cool. That kind of started a couple of years ago, softly, and then it started to really flood in. And this year there have been some really interesting experiences, not only with the god that I consider to be my principal god, my patron if you will, although he's very much a background character, but also just with, there's so many incredible experiences to unpack, and I think my ideas around divine masculinity need to be put in a video, and I need to say it's going to be a pretty fucking long video. There's going to be a lot that I need to say and a lot of context that I need to provide, and a lot of opinions that I have definitely formulated over a certain amount of times of listening to other people speak about the divine masculine and their views on it, and the idea of the duality of feminine and masculine. I have approached the concept of divine feminine and divine masculine a long time ago on the channel, and I will leave that link for you below if you want to check it out, but I feel like I really need to come back in strongly speaking specifically about the divine masculine. But just know that there have been a lot of experiences of that nature, and there have also been a lot of really interesting developments for me in terms of my personal development, which I have linked to my spiritual practice and linked to my spiritual understanding, but which are more to do with other aspects of my personal life, and I think I'm going to keep them on the down low. But some of them I do talk about in my latest exclusive video series, which is called Envision and Bestow, and I do share quite a few more personal stories in there, as well as sharing some cool chants and some poetry readings and some card slinging. So if you want to get your hands on the exclusive video content, it comes out in January. Click below, I'll leave it in the down bar for you. And yeah, they're some of my most interesting spiritual experiences. I'd love to know what yours have been, whether or not anything's clicked into place for you this year, whether or not anything has surprised you. Yeah, you know, just shower me with comments. I love it. You know, let me learn about you. Give me a portal into your world. Much love, blessed be.